No, no. I personally believe that Katy Perry's Witness era was sabotaged, okay? And it was made to look like it was all her fault. Everything from the Migos to all of the controversies, the way that the rollout of when this went, which shouldn't have been the rollout. There should have been no swish wish. There should have been no bon appetit. There should have been none of that because none of those were accurate representations of what the album was truly about. None of those was accurate representations of what Katy Perry was trying to convey. All my girls look gorgeous. Get your man tonight, come on, hold him tight. Gorgeous. We sippin' on them. Get your man and hold him tight, twice. Gorgeous. Cack. This is the Judge and Jury of Music, aka Queen Millennial. And we're here to talk about the justice that 143 should have. The justice that really Katy Perry should have. And how Witness ties into what the discourse is today about Miss Katy Perry. That really shouldn't be if things went the way they were supposed to go in the first place, okay? To me, there's a direct correlation between Witness and 143. And the fact that, we'll get into all that. But but as usual, before we get to the meat and potatoes, I'm tired. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, a word. No. I personally believe that Katy Perry's Witness era was sabotaged, okay? And it was made to look like it was all her fault. Everything from the Migos to all of the controversies, the way that the rollout of when this went, which shouldn't have been the rollout. There should have been no swish wish. There should have been no bon appetit. There should have been none of that because none of those were accurate representations of what the album was truly about. None of those was accurate representations of what Katy Perry was trying to convey in her transformational era, which was supposed to be Witness. You know, she wanted to evolve right there. She wanted to give the public and the fans that evolution that people are talking about that should have been happening on 143. 143 is just a symptom of what Witness should have been and should have been successful and should have been rolled out correctly with the right singles and the right choices and the right PR. Because Katy Perry was very depressed after Witness didn't go over the way that it should have, and it just wasn't marketed correctly, packaged wrong. You know, the only thing they did right was chain to the rhythm. That was it. Everything else was just absolute foolishness. Besides the 24-hour, whatever, when she was really telling her story, but it contradicted. It contradicted because of the shenanigans around the singles, whatever. People were confused, right? And so Witness, which is the best album in her discography, by the way, never got what it truly needs to get, and which I could get rid of on the album, is the Swish Swish and the Bon Appetits. Those still need to be on the album, at least not the standard edition. Okay? So, this is where we at now. Okay? Her growth was stunted in the misrepresentation of Witness. And that's what you're getting.
This is It's That Girl or It's Not That Girl. This is a show I talk about popular music and popular artists from today, yesterday, and beyond. Now, today we are talking about Katy Perry's latest release, 143. Okay? So, I want you to go ahead and get your popcorn, your chips, your drinks, whatever, because this is going to be quite an episode, right? Take it away. This is It That Girl or It's Not That Girl. Now, on paper, for the artist, musician, entertainer, not the content creator, not the YouTuber, and not the influencer, okay? But those are great platforms I say all the time to build that brand business name, but most importantly, the community. And hopefully you, as you, will join this community today by hitting that like button and sharing with the people that you know that like artist commentary, reaction and reviews. Okay. Did I already say that? I'm tired, folks. Give me a no, I didn't say that. Yes. Told you I'm tired. Anyway, so to join this community, to be a part of this community here, you have to actually engage in the video. That means liking, that means comments, that means, of course, also subscribing and whatnot. Share videos to other friends that you think like the video, things like that. I actually help the content creator move through this awkward from somewhere. Okay? But anyway, we're going to get right on into this. 143. No. It was not the most groundbreaking dance record at all. But here's the thing. I want you to listen closely because the thing that we could have got could have been something totally different than what 143 is if the witness era had gone the way it needs to go. And as I was saying before, that era, I believe, was sabotaged. There were so many sharp people behind the walls of that music industry that they'll do some crazy things, some wild stuff, okay? Including deleting it. Okay, so it is, to me, peculiar on when she cried and she begged for y'all to free her. She had that short pixie haircut, right? The real her. The whole rest of the era just looked like a joke because of the way it was rolled out. Of whose decision was it to roll out things like that? Whose decision was it to actually have the album roll out that way when it could have been a completely different thing? Okay? And it would have sold the GP and the fans would have got it, but unfortunately, that's not what happened because it, again, the whole era was tainted by, you said you were serious, but now it's just like you're not serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of them was confused, okay? And so it would be a part of the history of her history that will continue to follow her. And as I said before, folks, Witness is actually, whatever. Witness is actually Katy Perry's best album. in her discography. Oh yes, you want to fight me and say it's Teenage Dream, but no, it is Witness, hands down. Okay, Witness deserves a resurgence. Witness deserves justice. We're not here to discuss Witness today. You want Witness? This is the first episode of this particular talk today. Okay? Now, 143, again, folks, Witness is where Katy Perry's growth was snatched. Okay? When she was trying to transform, when she was trying to get rid of Katy Perry, because she already cried on film and said she didn't want to be Katy Perry anymore. She wanted people to see her for who she was. But unfortunately, that just did not happen. And so what Katy Perry ended up doing is regressing in a lot of ways. And so she's been trying to keep up the charade of Katy Perry, right? And any way that she can, right? Because she's a real artist and she yearns to really do it, right? She's been in the business for quite some time. And so, she had the lukewarm smile come out after Witness. I was like, And it was just after 143.
Okay.
Welcome to another halftime show. Here we go. Get up out your bed. I'm the mother effer vocals that be turning heads. I call attention. I'm the underdog with fire and I'm on a mission. I speak the truth. I'm the boldest ever blowing in this vocal booth. I'm the verdant pyro. I'll be lighted in the heaven as wire. And now, the song.
I know you're out there looking for a stress reliever.
You're looking for a stress reliever out there.
Drugs, the alcohol,
Here we go.
But let me tell you what you need to do. Here we go. Blood pressure, you worked all day like a messenger. Worked so hard that the bills are high. All you do is cry me a freaking try. Punch that clock every freaking day. Still on your money, you got to pay. Fuck that shit, man, you need relief, but you got this grief for the fucking cheap. Some take care of the freaking kids. Munching your plate for your freaking lid. Stress too much, always in a rush. You need to brush, you're feeling flush. What is it that you're gonna do? Gonna have some relief in you. Time to get out with the music plays every freaking day. All I gotta say is jump, turn that music loud. I wanna see your hands in the crowd. You gotta get it turned up, get it turned up, get it turned up, get it turned up. Lose your mind to the beat. Shake it up, keep moving them feet. You gotta get it turned up, get it turned up, get it turned up, get it turned up. Get the stress.
And that is all I will be giving you, okay? Now listen, if you want to hear that song in its entirety, then comment in the comment section. You ready? Let me hear that song. And I most certainly will, absolutely for free. Trying to sing, trying to find, trying to be the woman you love. Trying everything, but it just don't seem like it's enough.
some more, in my opinion, let your hair down, give us some Casha-esque type of you know, delivery, basically, you know, and that's what this was going for, right? It wasn't to get past media producer or whatnot, you know, it wasn't that, right? Because I still go back to 143, honestly. But the thing that really still nailed the coffin was the first single, Woman's World, with Katy Perry, right? And she had kept her mouth closed, like I said before, in the previous episode, and didn't say who she was working with. The response to Katy Perry would be a lot less violent, okay? The response to Katy Perry would have been a lot less violent, right? But because she mentioned the name that shall not be named, right? People started getting up, basically, in the metaphorical internet virtual tears and walking out, right? Calling her washed, calling her has-been. Using other way, people try to find every reason they could to pick Katy Perry apart. Because when you are trying to take somebody down, you're not just going for the one thing they did. You're a maniac. You're a maniac, okay? You're going through the search history, you're finding this, and that, and this, to throw all the books at them. You're finding all this other information that you have no business looking at, okay? And so, 143 is a fun little EDM pop-ish record, you know, for the most part. With, of course, the trap sounds in the first half of it. But, really, you just gotta be careful on the internet streets as a musician these days. So our biggest mistake with this era was the fact that she should have never been confident to say Dr. Luke's name out her mouth, because that's the stuff, the tone for Katy Perry's downfall, right? Completely at this point. Because they didn't think that the Woman's World song was the girl, right? They said it was too simple. It didn't represent, you know what's happening down here in these internet streets, okay? And I just think all the hate is unwarranted, okay? When she tried to transform, and it's not like y'all fault, it's not the GP's fault, but when she tried, because of the way that era had been presented to us witness, that it didn't give us witness, it didn't give us Captain Hudson, it gave us Katy Perry on some kind of steroids, and it just didn't go with what she was telling us she was trying to portray, you know, with the god-awful video for Swish Swish. Best part about that video was, Nicki Minaj, let's be honest. But really, you know, 143 deserves better than what it's getting, okay? Because, again, they sabotage that Blues Day. There's a lot of dark shadows with people in the music business that don't want you to know that they're there, and they pull the strings in careers, sabotage careers, spending narrative at any moment in their eyes, okay? So, with that being said, sorry, I know I'm shaking here. Anyway, with that being said, One for Three was not a bad album. It wasn't. Okay? I was settle for this album was basically like good enough. And I still enjoy it to this day. Right? Personally for me. But that's neither here nor there. Okay? Now, again, if Katy Perry hasn't allowed to transform into this other person, right? Because it's what I'm telling you, Katy Perry would do it very differently if that was the case, but it never happened for her. You know what I'm saying? It never happened. And now here we are with this. So really, I want to shine a light on all, yes, with us. Here come the antics, here come some of the days, whatever. We don't care. Okay? What I care about is where are these artists' mental health? Because they're not just being attacked from the outside world. They're being attacked from the inside world as well. And it never feels good like that to be gained up upon. When this did not sell the way that she hoped it would, because this was her connection to, you know, the fans and who want to know Carrie deeper, you know. It just got basically tested. Zeros across the board. Enough to over if you're not careful. But anyway, 143 will always go down in history, unfortunately, because it was attached to a very controversial producer that doesn't I'm not sure if this album can ever come back and be considered. No, I feel like it's nailed in the coffin pouring on this. And it's sad. If you see me rocking back and forth like this, it's gonna try not to do this on. Okay. Anyway, it's been a very long day. It's been very long. While it is not justified that she worked with Dr. Luke, especially with Cash Up was going through and a couple other victims come up, the thing is that a lot of the artists who think are working with other producers, a lot of times they're not. And the reason why I say a lot of times they're not is because it's still on. Perfect. Humans think of me. All right. There are just some associations to something that somebody cannot come back from. And unfortunately, this is one of those things. Dr. Luke works with a multitude of people that you would never know because the artist won't even tell you. They probably have an NDA agreement. Okay, they work with him. So they totally tried to not even bring attention to what they don't want you to see. You know, that's the art of being a con artist. I mean, that's the art of a con artist, but it's just the art of deception. Okay? So people don't necessarily have to tell you like who the producer is, blah blah blah. And then they expect the next questions. And you get what I'm saying? So like she could have thrown all shots on that, and that's just such the fire even more bold, more blazing, you know, so It's disheartening that things have end up this way, but I still choose to believe to not Katy Perry's detriment at all. And 143 still deserves better than what the response has been. Right? You thought the loop thing, at this point you gotta let it go. Right? You just gotta let it go. Right? If you genuinely don't like the music because it's not innovative enough, right? It was certainly better. So I want to hear your thoughts. Do you believe that our growth was stunted at witness and that era was being sabotaged behind closed doors? Because it's truly a tragedy, honey. But this is, we got to know good all the time. I'm out. You still here? I want to thank you for that. Isn't things still on? All right. Well, you know what? Come hang up with me over here in this next video that's going to pop up on the screen at any moment, and I'll see you over there. Bye-bye.